Hello everyone. So yesterday we have seen the demo for one of the very important tool in Informatica, that is mapping variable. We spoke about mapping parameter as well. So today we will see an example to clarify our understanding of mapping parameter. So again, to revise, mapping variable is the variable which need its value dynamically. So on the execution of a session task, based on each transaction, you can go and change the value of the mapping variable dynamically, which gets persisted in the repository. So whenever you are executing the session task next time, you are going to get the value from the uh, repository. So on the same lines, mapping parameter is a value which is nothing but a global constant, which is supposed to not change its own value unlike to the mapping variable, which are supposed to have the dynamic value allocation. Parameters are always global and they reside outside the Informatica system in a flat file or any text file. It has a defined syntax by which you can use the parameters on the outside file system, which we had discussed yesterday. So I'm going to show one example to you. So let me connect to the repository. So I'm going to use one of the example which we have used earlier. So here I have a source called employees. Let me see whether I have that or not. So as of now, I do not have that, but in the database I have that. So let me go and import it from the DB. So once I connect, you can see all the tables. So here there is a table called employees. So I'm importing this employees from here, and on this employees, I am supposed to get all the values of the employee only for job ID, which is equal to 2. So that is what the expectation of me to do this particular example. So let me create another table. So again, the table is already created for me. So if I connect to a target database, so let me create that table for now. I'm going to create the same table on the target as well. So go to the target designer, clear all the editor area. I am going to pull the employees table as it is here, and I'm going to rename this as trg, or let me say t underscore employees underscore mapping parameter param example. This is the name I have given. I'm keeping it in the Oracle only and not changing anything, any column on this. Say apply. I have to get this table created in my target database actually. So what I'm doing here is generating the SQL file. So let me name it as t underscore employees param example. I'm going to connect to the target connection object demo underscore rnw underscore trg connect. You can see my connection is done. Select the table only which is selected behind the editor area and click on generate and execute. So my table is now created. So if I go and connect to the database, let me see here. Employees underscore param underscore example. So I'm doing two commands here. One, I'm doing a describe of the table just to make sure that the table is created. So yes, table is created with all the ports and there is no values to it. So that's how the state of my database is. Save this. Now come to with the same example, I am also going to talk about the Mapplet. So here I'm going to use a Mapplet instead of a mapping. So go to this Mapplet designer. Here you can create a Mapplet over here. So my expectation for this Mapplet is going to be the filtering of records from the input to the output based on some job ID parameter. So I'm naming this as MLT underscore employees filter based on job ID. So that's the name I have given to my Mapplet. So in Mapplet, if you remember, we discussed that we need two major ports here, that is the Mapplet input and Mapplet output. So go to transformation. In this list, you can see there is something called Mapplet input and Mapplet output. So I'm going to populate one Mapplet input. So let me name this as underscore input underscore and I'm going to use another Mapplet output here, and let me name this as output. So these are going to be the input and output. So for me, the input, I can drag whatever source I can have. But if you remember, I told you that you cannot drag the target in the Mapplet area. So if you try to drag it here, it will tell that the target definition cannot be created in the Mapplet. So I have the Mapplet input, and my Mapplet input is supposed to be all the fields whatever I get from the source. So I am selecting everything and putting them in the input section. Now I can get rid of this. So let me delete this source qualifier and the source as well. So I have my Mapplet input ready. So to populate the Mapplet output, I am supposed to create a, let's say, filter transformation. So I am going to create a filter transformation here. So I have given the name as employees, filter employees based on job ID. On this, I am passing all the inputs, whatever is there from Mapplet input. And on this Mapplet, I'm supposed to create a parameter. So come to this Mapplet drop down and select on this. Here I'm naming this as job ID. This is going to be a parameter of string. Let me say this as 20. Keep this is expression variable as false for now and do not give any input value to it. Click on OK. So I have not given any value to it, but I have simply defined one parameter to it. So I can use this parameter in the properties, go in the filter condition and remove this expression and start using the port you want to check. So job ID equal to, you can use the variables in this. You can see mapping parameter. So this is the job ID. You can check, say validate. Just give me a moment. I will get back in a moment.